Ariel Encore. Our task. My task was to create a new music magazine, front cover, contents page, double page spread, using original images, text and design. Production sketches. Pre-production photography, not used. Photography used. In what ways does your media product use, develop or challenge forms and conventions of real media products? My magazine design conforms to all the codes and conventions of a typical music magazine. It's got the masthead, main image, cover lines, barcode, price, selling lines and so on. I base my magazine design on that of an issue of enemy. Process of design. For my main image design, I wanted a medium close-up which was striking and made a statement. I had found that many products, CDs and magazines which use such images come across as being quite serious about their product. I took the magazine image of a friend of mine who is in fact a drummer in a local punk band in his back garden. I took the image at night and got him to stand against a brick wall to give me somewhat of a blank canvas to work with. Using the effects tool, I added a satin to the image which blanked out the background. The cigarette idea comes from the issue of enemy, which also added to a rock and roll stereotype of not caring. Front cover step 2. Next, I added my masthead design that I found on font.com. I pasted it into Paint where I rotated the E. I wanted an eroded sort of text, so I gave a sense of a well-established brand. My magazine was designed at the age group of 20 to 35-year-olds who would be interested in new and old eras of music. So naming the magazine Encore really did reflect this. I used the effects tool and added a drop shadow, inner shadow and bare balloon emboss. My selling line, giving you more, is a good analogy of the masthead and it rhymes so it was catchy. Using the effects tool, I added an afterglow to bring it from the page. When creating my front cover, I used the left third codes of conventions and had the text in one size. It looked like a block of text that I didn't have a selling fill. So changing the size and the text, give it an in-house style and change the whole appeal. This didn't interfere with the main image, so resizing wasn't needed. Step 4, 3. Blake is my main cover line and the image uses to complement it. My main feature of the issue and the exclusive interview is based on this. Continually throughout the magazine I have used a red and white colour scheme and this was no different. I again used the font.com for my band name and design and edited it with colouring to keep within the in-house style of the magazine. When conducting my survey, I found that the majority of people asked wanted to see exclusive info within a magazine purchase, so this would be the main idea for my design. Again, at the bottom of the page, I have my skyline, which is conventionally shown at the top of the magazine, is in keeping with what my survey results found, featuring exclusive interviews and latest news. On cover step 4. The final stage of my magazine were just stylistic features and essentials to any magazine design. The red band at the bottom was just in keeping with the house colouring. The barcode is an essential, as is the price. Contents design. I feel that the contents page don't really have any conventions other than the obvious page numbers and main features. I wanted to bring colour into the background for the magazine contents page to brighten it up, but keep the red and black theme. I added an image of the person on the front cover to continue the main article feature. Instead of using the left third for my page information, I decided to bring it over to the right, as this would be the first thing you would see when opening the contents page. A few stylistic features I used were the E icon, the self-created LTA awards and the sound were all used to highlight different aspects of the magazine and gave it a unique image. The bottom of the page is used to give information to potential customer and is shown in many content page designs. Double page spread. Three main codes of conventions of a double-page spread interview are image, in keeping with the black and white front cover design. I use this again on the double-page spread to keep a house style, and with the added caption I feel it made it look genuine. Text is typically split into 3 columns and starts with an introduction, quotes. In many interviews, the journalists add quotes to pull the reader in, who typically read the quotes to see any main features. If these are of any interest, they will read the article before. How does your media product represent particular social groups? The social group I was looking to grab the attention of was a group of male and females between the ages of 20 to 35. To get the attention of these groups, you need to appeal to them. Indian rock is quite a diverse community and stretches into many kinds of music influences. I feel my magazine has represented this group well. Rock can be seen as serious, fun, loud, aggressive, and simply not giving a fuck. The images reflect all of this, while the front cover image looks quite serious and not giving a toss what anyone thinks of him or his band. The contents page image looks fun and happy, as does the bottom of the double page spread. The top one, on the other hand, looks loud and professional. Double page spread interview is very informal, and this is shown quite often with rock band interviews. They get quite personal, which always appeals to the reader, and it stays fun, which is what these kind of social groups want. What kind of media institution might distribute your media products and why? I can see my magazine being sold in places such as WH Smith, Tesco's, Sainsbury's, as well as all small convenience stores. It isn't a specialist magazine, it's just an ordinary indie rock magazine, which you would expect to find in any sort of shelf-stocking music magazines. Its target group is diverse and quite open. It would feature very mainstream artists, new and old, so selling it to a target audience wouldn't be too much of a problem. Magazines such as Q, NME, Kerrang sell in almost any store, so featuring similar artists and appealing to similar audience would make perfect competition. I would feature my magazine as an online option, but there would be a charge smaller than that of the magazine for a monthly subscription.
So you're talking about having it featured maybe on issue?
Yeah. Who would be the audience for your media product? Male and female, aged 20 to 35 years, into rock and indie music, have an interest in new and old artists and bands. Middle to working class, enjoy going to live music venues, listen to music on television channels such as MTV, Q and TMF, download more than buy music in store, very technological with their music and life. How did you attract or address your audience? From my survey results, I concluded that I attracted and addressed my preferred audience with a number of techniques. Firstly, 95% of people asked said that they thought my magazine genre was rock with 45%, and 50% said that they thought it was of an indie genre. 100% of people asked agreed that they thought my magazine was aimed at the ages between 16 and 35. 20 to 35 was the age range I was hoping to appeal to, as this result was brilliant. 50% of people asked said that they thought my front cover design was my best. So therefore I feel that when addressing my target audience, I've most definitely met their needs and wants. What have you learnt about the technologies from the process of constructing of this product? Throughout the design process, I have used many computer programs such as PowerPoint, presentation production, Photoshop using layers, image editing and text editing, websites such as SlideShare for PowerPoint presentations, Issue for Word documentation issuing, SurveyMonkey for the design and production of surveys for feedback and research methods, Blogger, font.com for text design, and Google used for research methods. I've had use of cameras, camcorders, music CDs and many more. Looking back at your preliminary task, what do you feel you have learnt in the progression from it to the full product? I've learnt how to use Photoshop to a fuller extent than I had previous to this, and I now feel very capable of using this in future production work. Getting audience feedback has been very beneficial to my production work and future products I may undertake. Research existing music magazines has also been very beneficial, and I feel I have learnt many stylistic features that make a good magazine CD cover.